Hello, wherever you are in the world, day, morning, evening. I hope you're having a great one. I'm Sher, and I'm going to do an ancestor reading for Allhallowtide. This season, this time of year is the best time for us to connect to our ancestors because it is the time when the veil is thinnest. So, yeah. I do own the rights to the music you hear playing in the background. I composed and recorded that in 528 hertz, so you're receiving healing energies as it plays. Let's see who's here. And I'm going to pin this in the comments, so here we go. It's not pinning. It's not pasting. By the way, if you're watching this in real time, we are still in the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. Go figure. All right, hold on. Let me see here. Hello, David. How are you? It's good to see you. I was just grabbing this link here. There we go. Alrighty. The so it's ancestor guidance tonight in honor of the All Hallows Eve and All Saints Day that we've been celebrating. So the Allhallowtide season is a time when we are able to connect more easily with the ancestors because the veil is thinnest this time of year. It's good to see you, David. Thank you. I have congestion, but it is allergies. So apparently it's the ragweed. I do own the rights to the music you hear playing in the background. I composed and recorded that in 528 hertz. So you're receiving healing energies as it plays. I broke my glasses, guys. So they sit on my face crooked, but I'm gonna look at the, no, I broke a leg off it. Oh, so glad to see you. Hi, Jeff. How are you? So good to see you. Yeah. So doing donation reads, and also I will be pulling for those to whom I'm drawn. I'm going to do a collective. Ragweed is no good, David says. Yeah, goldenrod. Yeah, I think that most people have allergies to ragweed and not the other. Hi, Karen. I hope you're feeling better, honey. So again, this is a really, really good time to connect with our ancestors because the veil is thinnest this time of year. So you might be feeling more presence around you as we go through these days in this period. So it's a really good time to connect with spirit, to get readings, or to do readings yourself if you do them yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and do a collective read. Again, if you would like to make a donation, just let me know in the comments and I'll get to you right away. So that will get you priority. Let me see. But we're doing ancestor guidance messages from the ancestors tonight. I'm going to back up a little. Now then, I won't be able to see the phone as well, but I don't feel like I'm about to fall off the side of the... Here we go. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Lawrence. How are you, honey? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the collective from our ancestors. Again, the ancestor guidance. The donation is set at 11:11, but you know, any donation will be fine. That will get you priority reading, and I'll get it to you right away. So just let me know in the comments if you've chosen to do that. I'm going to do collective first. For the collective spirit, for highest best good, archangels protect us and shield us. Archangel Gabriel, please give me the highest best good messages for all, for the highest good of all. Messages from the ancestors. We're looking for messages from the ancestors, please, Spirit. What do they want us to know right now? Okay. Logic. Focusing on logic, using our logical minds. Yeah, strength, research, and balance. So what I'm hearing is that we are moving forward toward creating a more just world, a more just way to live with one another. That is what I'm hearing. We are being given guidance, clear guidance through our logic, using our logical minds and our abilities to research, our abilities to study. We may be drawn to particular paths of study right now. Moving toward, I'm hearing things that give us a sense of peace and a sense of balance. A sense of peace, inner harmony, which will reflect in the outer world. Yeah. Balancing. So our ancestors and spirit is guiding us to focus on what it is that we need to turn inward, to look. I'm hearing again, studies. And remember, studies, that doesn't have to mean any kind of formal study, but just looking things up, watching documentaries, reading things, reading articles, and that kind of thing. Researching within ourselves, looking within ourselves to find the answers that we may have had hidden. Because we have the answers within us. We have the answers in our DNA passed down to us. We have these wisdoms passed down to us in our DNA. It's in our DNA. It's in our cellular structure. It's in our energetic signatures. These answers. This courage to fight, in a sense, for what is right and for this balance and for this harmony. Just taking a stand, in a way, for a more just world, for a more balance in our lives. Balancing out the heart and finding that courage within to stand in our truths, our individual truths and our collective truths. So that is what I'm hearing then, and that will bring peace, that will bring balance, that will bring harmony, that will bring justice to everyone, and move us as a collective toward a more peaceful time, a time of calm. a time of balance, a time of harmony. And this kind of energy has been described, you know, for a very, very long time, you know, coming in with this age of Aquarius. And I have never picked up on this with the Strength card before, but that is what I'm picking up on, and that's what they're showing me. You know, it's a time when the lion lies down with the lamb, you know, and there is this gentle approach. There is this gentle wisdom that we all have within us. This gentle wisdom, ways to tame our fears, ways to tame societal conditioning, ways to tame the beast within and without. Within and without. Yeah, so that's about our shadows. That's about doing shadow work and having the courage. I'm picking up on so many things on this Strength card tonight. Having the courage to stand our ground about what is fair, what is just, what is balanced, and using our logical minds, our common sense, to advocate. I'm hearing advocate, to advocate for these things, to advocate for ourselves, to advocate for more harmony, more peace, more balance. And then I'm hearing, you know, as within, so without. So this balance within, this balance of the masculine and the feminine, this balance of the give and take, this balance of the logical mind, you know, which is left brain stuff, and our intuition, which is right brain stuff, you know, our creativity, our intuition, our receptivity, taking right action and receiving. And remember, that's not like a passive energy. The feminine energy is not a passive energy. It is a receptive energy, and there's a difference. There's a difference. You know, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I just take the path of least resistance. And sometimes that sounds like a cop-out, because that doesn't mean just doing nothing. That means still taking right action when led, you know. Surrendering, it's a balance. It's a balance of surrendering, letting go, and allowing, and then taking right action. Because this momentum we will be carried. The momentum of the stream will carry us, right? We're not supposed to, and I'm using that word suppose again, we're not supposed to force through, you know, rock. Water flows around it, right? But eventually we end on shore somewhere, momentarily. So from moment to moment we end up on shore, and that is when we're taking right action. So we're using our intuition, we're using our logical minds to make the best decisions and to take right action, which is going to resonate both here and here, right? Right action is going to be from our soul. It's going to be from our solar plexus. It's going to be from our divine will, located in Manipura, our solar plexus chakra. And that comes from within, from what we think, you know, as individuals and as a collective is right. What we know to be just, fair. If it is right action, we won't have to second guess what we are taking. It will check off in the heart space, and it will check off in the mind. It will check off in the brain. It will check off in the heart. Yeah. Our emotions and our minds are going to be on the same page if it's a right action. It's not going to be a decision about, okay, well, this is the more practical solution. But this is what I really want, you know. So those kinds of polarities are being balanced and brought together. When it is right action, it's going to be checking off, you know, kind of like checking all the boxes. It's going to feel right, and it's going to make sense to us. And if one is missing, then that's not really right action, from what I've understood, and from, you know, what we are learning. And we're learning day to day. We're learning day to day. So as we gather more information, as we get more information, we take that into consideration, making these decisions, because we learn along the path. We learn along our journeys. And then we'll be ready to rush forward. We're going to be ready to rush forward. And then there's going to be this divine assistance here. And no, we're never alone. Know that we are never alone. And if we are ever in doubt about our right action and which is the best next step to take, we can ask for guidance. We can ask our higher selves. We can turn within and meditate. We can pray. We can ask for divine angelic guidance. We can ask for Spirit to lead us. We can ask for God to lead us, whatever verbiage fits within your belief system. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. So our higher selves, the higher consciousness, the universe, the quantum field, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call on. And if it's simply tuning everyone out and turning into your heart space, that is great too. And that is where we're going to find this divine will and our right action to take. Yes. So many things do happen that are beyond our control. That is when we surrender. And then when we are brought ashore again, that's when we take the right action. That's when we take right action. So, yeah, we're using our logic. We're using our logic and our passions, our divinely inspired passions. And this is passion for life, our inspiration, what inspires us, our creative spark. It's passion within all its aspects. Then we rush forward. Then we can rush forward after we've thought it through. King of Swords, you know, he's mastered thought. He's mastered that realm. He's a master of words. He's a master communicator. And communication, you know, goes both ways. Communicating with one another. This is how I think about it. This is what I think about it. This is how I feel about it. And hearing other people, hearing the other side, even if this is within our own minds, hearing our heart spaces, hearing our minds. A lot of us are facing crossroads moments right now. And this has been going on for a couple years astrologically, because we're ending old cycles, beginning new ones. These are major karmic cycles, so they're major crossroads. And we're all on slightly different timelines. As a collective, we are doing this. But as individuals, our paths may look a little bit different. And so some of us may have had major transitions, up to 2 years ago. And some of us may have had them yesterday, But we're all doing this. We're all doing this. And again, they're not simple little things that we're ending. They're major cycles. They're 10-year cycles. They're 12-year cycles. They're 20-year cycles that we're ending and beginning new ones. So a lot of these old soul contracts are being closed out and new beginnings are happening. And so we're all navigating this in one way or another, okay? And again, it's not easy. It's not easy. These are major decisions. Major arcana have been coming out for most of us. Most of the readings that I have done have had major arcana in them, again, for the past couple years. It's an important time for mankind, humankind. But this is what we're getting. We're birthing something new, something brand new. It's gonna look and feel new. We're gonna have renewal of spirit, renewed hope. Wow. Yeah, and it's gonna be balanced. It's gonna be fair. It's gonna be peaceful. All right, what else, Spirit? Hi, Annie. How are you, honey? It's so good to see you. All right. So I'm doing this Allhallowtide ancestor reading, ancestor guidance for the collective. And if you want one for yourself, let me know in the comments. I've put the donation information and pinned comments, so let me know. Yeah, we're getting new beginnings. We're getting new beginnings. Brand new cups here. And we may be starting off small. It's okay. It's okay to start over. I've talked to so many people who are like, I'm tired of starting over. I get it. I get it. Believe me, I get it. I get it. But we're not starting over. We're not starting over completely. It's the perception. It's the mindset. And we're coming. This cup isn't empty. This cup isn't empty. It's got a tiny little surprise in there. So what we have learned is what we have in this cup and what we're bringing forward. And the Fool going off on his journey, starting at 0 point again, is no fool. He is no fool. In Shakespeare's plays, the fool is always the one giving the sage's advice. Because he's an observer. He can see. And we have already been through these cycles, so we have leveled up. And we might look like a fool, but we're not. We're not. We're starting off, and what we have is this faith in divine and taking these leaps forward. But we're not starting with an empty head. We're starting with everything we have learned in that past cycle that we have all come through. Because unless you're like 2 years old and watching, and if you are, namaste and more power to you. But unless we're 2 years old, we've been through a cycle, So we have learned these lessons. We're moving forward with the faith of the Fool, with the optimism of the Fool, and with the released burdens of the past, the Fool embodies. But we're not empty-handed. We've got these treasures that we have kept and we have brought forward. And what are those? They're the lessons we've learned. You know, it's not gold and silver. It's wisdom. And this can be from past lives. And it can be from this incarnation, but we have it regardless. We have it. So, yeah, we're not starting over. We're renewing. We're replenishing. We are re-engaging in a new way. Reassessing. Yeah, it's a rebirth. Yeah, it's a rebirth of energies and perception, perspective. Yeah. Okay, what else, Spirit? Yeah, and then we can move forward with this love. Look at these knights. Then we're taking action. So it's all about action. It's all about action now, but only after we have thought about it. Only after we've checked in with our heart spaces. So allow ourselves, we're being given time right now, is what I'm hearing. We're being given time to reassess, time to evaluate, time to look at the scales, time to do our research, study, even if that's studying the past and kind of like looking at that last cycle going, what did I learn? What were my lessons? And remember, sometimes when we find it hard to figure out the lesson, we were the lesson for someone else. And that does happen. That does happen. I've studied law of attraction, and I understand that we vibrate at particular frequencies and we draw in where we are vibrating. However, I also know, at least this is in my belief system, that we have soul contracts, and the people are brought to us. It's not always, in my opinion, it's not always that we are drawing what we are, okay? Because I hear a lot of people, clients who talk to me and they're just like, I don't know why I keep drawing this back in. And in some of the cases, they weren't drawing it back in. It's just that it's what they signed up to do. They signed up to help 4 people learn the lesson of unconditional love by losing them. Okay? Does that make sense? It's not always that we are drawing in these things. We're not always, so because the reason I'm saying that is because a lot of people have a lot of self-blame when things don't work out for them, when jobs don't work out for them, when relationships don't work out for them. And oftentimes, in that it is my belief. It is my belief. And you don't have to adhere to my belief system at all. But it is my opinion. The first time I heard this, it changed my life because I was so critical of myself. And then I learned about soul contracts, and I learned about divine intervention. And then these things made sense to me. I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong, because I've had jobs just like ripped away from me like ripped out of my hands, and I'm like, I really thought I was doing the right thing. Why did this happen? You know, and I blame myself, and it was nothing I did wrong. And people said, oh, they can't do that. All the things that were happening to me, like it felt like an absurd reality. But it was that I wasn't supposed to be doing that. Spirit wanted me elsewhere. And so it wasn't anything that I did. I was just beating myself up, trying to find out the lesson. What did I do wrong? What was my lesson there? I kept saying it, and I kept trying to find that lesson within that experience. But that wasn't the lesson. The lesson was that I just needed to be elsewhere, doing something else entirely. And so I hope that makes sense, and I hope that resonates for something. And of course, it would be so easy just to look back and say, oh, all my mistakes, they were just, you know, that was just divinely orchestrated. You know, I'm not the kind of person to have this kind of cop-out mentality either. However, there are times, and I know so many, especially of us empaths, and I know if you're watching this, you are probably 99% chance you're an empath as well, because that is who finds me. But, you know, we have a lot of self-blame. We have a lot of self-blame. And so I just want to offer that to you guys as an option for thinking about things, reframing. You know what? Maybe that job didn't work out. Maybe that relationship didn't work out because I got something else to do. I signed up for something else before I came in here. You know what? It wasn't anything you did wrong, okay? There's just, you signed up for soul contracts, multiple soul contracts, perhaps. Or you signed up for a double or triple mission here in this incarnation, okay? So it doesn't mean that there's always a lesson. And sometimes we're the lesson for others. Sometimes we are the teachers for others. And so people with whom we have had conflict and who end up saddened by our leaving because something wasn't balanced, then we are their lesson. Okay? So sometimes we get the lesson, and sometimes we are the lesson for other people. So, yeah. And just don't blame yourself if you feel like, oh my goodness, because that's really one of the major issues that I have with law of attraction teaching. Most of it, it's that kind of thing. It was like, oh, well, you must have been low vibe, or you wouldn't have drawn that in. No, because sometimes we sign these contracts. It's not always the case. Yes, I agree. Most of the time, that is true. However, sometimes we signed up for this stuff. And I don't like people beating themselves up about anything like that. I mean, it's bad enough to go through the trauma or the loss or the shift, the change, the transitions, without having erroneously place blame upon ourselves for causing it or being flawed somehow, And so if you did not get that job at the interview, there is something better or something you're meant to do instead, okay? It doesn't mean that there was something lacking in you, in your experience, in your, on your resume, in your capacity, in your abilities, in your talents, and your gifts. None of that, okay? All right, but that's, again, my belief system. And now we've got another page. We've got things moving forward. We've got things moving forward after after we have checked in again with our heart spaces, with our minds, and we've done our research. And then these fated events coming. Fated events. Fated events. Okay. I'm going to stop there for a sec and check the comments. And then I'm going to pull some oracles here from ancestors. And guys, I broke my very expensive glasses. This is why I buy them from Dollar Tree. But excuse me while they're sitting crooked on my face here. Lawrence, yes, honey, we do. I believe that too. Hi, Elio. So nice to see you. Annie Precious, Jackie. Yeah, go with the flow. That's right. And then take right action. Oh, hi, Becky, honey. Joanne, thanks for inviting people in. I don't know if they can without joining the group, but we'll see. Okay. Again, guys, if you would like to make a donation for a private read during this live, also, I'm offering an ancestor guidance just for the next few days for $20 USD. So it will be similar to this and what I'm about to do here with the ancestors. It will be guidance directly from your ancestors about your path, what they want you to know. Very similar to what I'm doing right now. And it's $20 USD, which is quite a discount off my my reads right now. Okay, here we go. For the collective, getting back to the collective. Back to the collective. I'm going to take a sip of water. I'm so happy to see you guys. I've missed you guys. Okay, here we go. For the collective. Ancestor guidance. Wasn't feeling that. There we go. Okay, give and take. We're moving. You know, and I've heard this about our economy, actually, that we're moving toward a more, almost like a barter system. So for a lot of us, this even exchange of energies. Also, we are coming into our gifts. The global situation, I'm just going to say, and call it that, caused so many of us, or created a space in which so many of us could go inward and spend time in the home. All right, so by doing that and stopping our day-to-day, there was so much reconnection with the self, with our creative gifts, and with what brings us joy, okay? It gave us time to rediscover that about ourselves. So many of us have rediscovered our joys, things that brought us joy when we were children. our art, like I delved back into painting. I mean, I had been painting for years, but this year I actually shared it for the first time, publicly, and put my art out there. Music, painting, cooking. We are moving into expression, self-expression, individual expression of our individual talents, of our individual gifts, and we all have them. And so Spirit is saying, good job. Our ancestors are telling us, good job, and continue to do that, because that is bringing so much joy and balance and flow of an energy, positive chi, okay? So it's this positive chi back and forth, because we are putting ourselves out there. Those of us who are putting ourselves out there are giving others permission to do the same. And I always like to explain when I say that I don't mean permission like, oh, you have permission. I mean, they feel like, oh, look at her. She's doing it. I can do that. Yay, yeah, you can. Do it, do it, do it. So we give others courage by that. And that is more what I mean when I say permission. We give others permission. When we're ourselves, we give others permission to do the same. When we're willing to put ourselves out there and say, look, here I am. I'm not perfect, but this is what I do. And I enjoy the heck out of it. And, maybe you'll like it too. That unassuming attitude gives others the courage to do the same. Oh, I used to love doing that. Oh, I used to sing. Oh, I used to paint. Oh, I used to play music. Oh, and so we had this time, to do that. We had this time to do that. And so this has created a new energy, a new trading energy, not necessarily of the merchant, but more like craftsman type energies here. And we really have been stepping into this, and Spirit says, yeah, continue to do that, continue to do that, because it's going to bring so much joy. And understand that what you're doing, what you produce, what you create, somebody will want that. Somebody will want that. Understand, somebody will think it's awesome. Somebody will think it's cool. Somebody will say, oh my God, I didn't know you did that. Wow, I would love that. Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you know that I did this? And it's this give and take back and forth that we are experiencing and will continue. This is going to continue to grow, I'm hearing. And it's coming from an emotional space. So those things that we are creating, we are imbuing with love. We are putting love in it. We're putting our hearts in it. We're putting our hearts and our love into these creations. And maybe for a long time, we had not been doing that. If we had, it's elevating. So as a collective, we are doing this at a level that we have never done before. We are doing this on the increase. We are doing this more and more and more. Look. And it's not an egoic sense of, oh, look at me. And fewer and fewer people are feeling threatened by that. Fewer and fewer people are feeling threatened by that, because more and more people are coming into this ego death and, you know, doing this shadow work and coming into these awakenings and understanding that we are all one, that we are all connected, and that there's really no such thing as competition. There's really no such thing as lack. And when we come into these ideas and accept them, then there is this freeing and free flow of energy back and forth among us, okay? And it's coming from the heart, and so we are filling the world with love. We are filling the world with this beautiful emotion, heart-based. We're moving from mind-based into heart-based, but we don't have to let go completely the mind, right? We're seeing things from a higher and higher perspective. What else, Spirit? What else? So keep doing that. Keep sharing your gifts. Keep enjoying them. Keep rediscovering them. Take time to reflect. Yes, take time to reflect. And if you say, oh, I don't have any skills, I don't have any gifts, I don't have any talents, baloney. That's not real. That's not true. You do. You might have forgotten, or maybe you don't consider it a talent. Maybe you don't consider, you know, I make the world's best cupcakes or brownies, you know, maybe you don't consider that to be an art, but it is. It is. So take time to reflect. What brings you joy? What brings you joy? Again, in this age of Aquarius, we are releasing the ego and moving into this more peaceful existence. And it may still feel very chaotic right now. It may still feel very chaotic right now. But know that this is the truth. This is what's happening. What is in your heart is truth. See yourself as divine. The ancestors say, see yourself as we see you. So many of us, I'm getting teary right now because this is a very powerful message that's being brought forth right now. But so many of us are clearing ancestral karma. Okay? So many of us are doing this. We signed up for that. We signed up for that. We are clearing ancestral karma. What do I mean? I mean we are breaking these patterns of behavior. We are breaking these patterns of behavior. We're saying, no, that crap stops here. It stops here. You know, whether it is abuse, whether it is emotional manipulation, whether it is poverty consciousness, we're doing it. We're stepping out of it. We're breaking those curses. We're breaking those ancestral curses, ancestral behaviors. And what I mean by curses is behaviors that don't serve us, conditioning, things that have been in our DNA, in our lineage, you know, repeated patterns that are not helpful, that are not conducive to our well-being. We're breaking those. And spirit and ancestors are saying it's okay if you need to go it alone. You're not ever alone, but it's okay if you need to go it alone in the 3D. Because some of this journey, especially again for those of us who signed up for that kind of work, which is grueling, right? It's okay. It's okay to take care of you and release anything that was toxic, okay? It's okay to set these boundaries and take care of our own, take care of ourselves. It's okay to do that. The wolf is an interesting animal. It's a pack animal, but it's very solitary in its attitude, okay? So understand that sometimes we need to walk away, and it's okay, and it's okay. It's painful, but it's okay. It's okay. Again, we're never alone. We're never alone, but it's okay. Do that guilt-free. Take care of yourself. You know what is conducive to your well-being and what is not. You know what is conducive to your heart. And you know what unconditional love feels like. You may never have seen it, but I'll bet you've given it. Okay? That's that love and acceptance that we feel toward others. If you have children, then you've likely felt it. Pets, they give us unconditional love, right? So we're seeing it come into existence. We are seeing it come. We are the bringers. We are the bringers of this love. We are the bringers of this light. We are the bringers of this peace. And how we do that is the hardest thing of all, by loving ourselves. That's how it happens. That's how it happens. Because if we don't love ourselves unconditionally, then, you know, the whole world is still at, you know, at this level and not this level where we all can be, right? But we're breaking those ancestral curses. Anything that wasn't of unconditional love, right? And so some of us may have had very happy childhoods, but there was a conditional kind of love, the same, you know. So understand that love, as we learn this, love is not withheld. I said to someone once, love is not withheld like performance pay. And I think I've written that in a couple of my pieces over the years. It's not. That's, if you're doing that, what that is not love, okay? It's not love, it's something else. It's something else. There's like an ulterior motive. It's emotional manipulation. There's something beneath it that is not pure, okay? It's not love in its purest form. But understand that we are all love. We are all love. It's the ego that steps in and creates the fears. And again, with us clearing these timelines and clearing these karmas, ancestral karmas, we are learning how to do this. Like for the first time as a collective, it was like, okay, how do we love? How do we love? How do we love one another? How do we love ourselves? How do we love unconditionally? Because for most of us, we weren't shown it. So we're just having to imagine it and learn, you know, from one another. And learn from divine, and learn from, you know, spirit. Yeah, it's okay to take care of ourselves. It's okay to take care of ourselves. There's no guilt here in that. There's no guilt here. Okay. What else? All right, I'm going to pull from this article for the collective spirit. Yeah. We're learning to love ourselves. Okay. Yeah, we're seeing things from a higher perspective. We are seeing things from a higher perspective. We are meeting more and more of our star families, our soul families. And I'm also picking up on this wisdom again from the ancestors coming down through this communication. We're getting light codes, and understand we're not alone. We're not alone. Yeah. And here's that isolation thing. Again, that has the word isolation on it. And I'm brought back to this wolf here. We are not going to be, your ancestors, our ancestors want us to know we're not going to be in this energy forever, because we aren't now, even though it feels like it, right? Because we're never alone, even though it feels like it sometimes. But this is assurance here. You're not alone. You're not alone. The veil is very thin. And our passed on loved ones and our ancestors are letting us know that they're watching us. You know, we have life reviews. This is another part of my belief system. We have life reviews when we pass. We're able to see things from a different perspective then. They're seeing things from a different perspective. I'm hearing, if I'd known now, if I'd known then what I know now, I'd have lived differently. And I'm just hearing that they're proud. They're proud of the progress we have made and the strides we have made. And wanting us to know, again, that we're never alone. We're never alone. And it's perfectly okay for us to love ourselves. And self-care is so incredibly important on this journey. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, one more. Okay. One more for the collective. Again, guys, if you want to book that reading, the ancestor guidance reading, then you know that special is going on just for Allhallowtide season, Allhallowtide season. So just for the next few days, you know, that includes Halloween and All Saints Day and All Souls Day. Here we go. Yeah, this love. Most people are trying to survive, so the ancestors are asking us to forgive them, you know. So these patterns that have been brought on, we can release, we can forgive, but we can still set boundaries. So remember, when we're dealing with toxic situations, it's okay to set boundaries, and sometimes those boundaries are no contact. It's okay. And we can do that without guilt, and that's part of what I was saying when I was talking about this wolf fear. Going it alone, we're not alone, but this is the kind of thing that a lot of us have done in breaking these curses. Okay, so understand most people are just trying to survive. So understand that it was survival. And forgive yourself for anything you may have done in survival mode, okay? Forgive that, because that is a big part of the self-love and the self-acceptance required for us to be balanced and to move into this ascension and to truly embody this unconditional love. Understand that, so we can forgive. We don't have to forget. It doesn't mean letting toxic situations back into our lives, because we have learned to love ourselves and to take care of ourselves, okay? But we can forgive it, because that releases us. That releases us, okay? That releases us. And even if no one has apologized for it, we can still forgive it for our own sake, okay? And then we have karma. Karma's on your side, baby. Karma is on your side. They want us to know, and I know this is backward, but when I switch the camera around, it confuses me. So anyway, karma. I'll take this off karma's on your side. So a lot of us are getting karmic justice, karmic rewards. And I'm just hearing this next cycle is not going to be like the last cycle. So don't judge, like don't prejudge, and don't be afraid of the next cycle just because the last one, well, you know, was crappy or felt crappy or painful or whatever, you know, whatever adjective you want to fit in there, okay? Don't be afraid. Just because this last pattern, I mean, not pattern, but this last cycle has ended, that doesn't mean that the new cycle is going to look anything like it, okay? And for most of us, what I'm hearing is it's not going to look like that. These are big cycles that we have ended, and we have to learn those lessons. And the other people have learned theirs. You know, whether we know it or not, they have learned it. And whether we know it or not, and whether they know it or not, they've learned it on a soul level. They've learned it in their 5D selves. They've learned it, you know, in their oversoul. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, we're gonna have this balance. We're gonna, like we've never seen before. We're gonna have this karmic balance like we've never seen before. We're gonna have beautiful things for the entire collective. Deep, soulful love, and expect more of it. This says hubba hubba. That's what cracked me up. I love this deck. But yeah, it's about moving into that love, because as we love ourselves, then we vibe higher. And it shows, like it shows in everything we do. When I was talking about, you know, our talents and our gifts that we're sharing, pouring that love into it, we're pouring more and more of ourselves into it because we're able to, and we were given time to, and we are seeing ourselves more and more through the lens of divine, as divine beings, as the divine beings that we are, as these beautifully flawed, perfectly imperfect souls in human form, right? So we're loving ourselves. Yeah, we're loving ourselves. And other people are going to love us too. And this is our soul tribes. These are our soul tribes. Again, we've got soul contracts. Some of the soul contracts are, you know, they're just like maybe even someone you meet in passing. It can be that brief. They can be that brief that someone you meet in passing gives you a message that changes your life entirely. That can happen. That can happen. Okay. That is your message from the ancestors. Okay, I'm hearing one more for the collective. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah. So take note the signs you're getting. If you're seeing feathers, songs, they send us songs all the time. They can connect with us that way. They give us signs. Our ancestors and passed on loved ones. Yeah, they do. They give us signs. They give us songs. Sometimes we can smell. They give us scents. We'll pick up a scent like I smell cherry, pipe tobacco. Oh, my grandfather used to smoke a pipe. You know, that kind of thing. Or we'll get that sometimes. our olfactory system, you know, is very, very in tune with our lizard brain. So it evokes memories right away. You know, it precedes our logic, and it goes back. That's what I mean by lizard brain. It's in the very primitive part of the brain that just bypasses our thought process. It bypasses thought. It goes straight to the brain. This is why smells can bring us back. Like an apple pie cooking can bring us back into Grandma's kitchen. And our heart spaces, just like that. Like there's an emotive response. There's an emotive response, and it's automatic. It's automatic. Yeah, so watch out for those. They're guiding. Look for angel numbers. You know, I notice a lot of synchronicities with numbers myself, but you can have angel numbers. You can have spirit animals to visit you. They may send doves. Doves are particular signs. Robins are particular birds that are often messages from our ancestors, just letting us know we're not alone. You know, so if you're seeing a bird, if you see one repeatedly, or a particular type of bird repeatedly, you can look up additional messages, and always just choose the video or the article, you know, that you're drawn to, because that again is your intuition leading you, that spirit guiding you to the right message for you. And then they just want us to know to keep going, move past any kind of fears that we have about the new cycle, or about breaking these curses, or about stepping into our power, about stepping into our gifts fully, into our soul missions and paths. More and more of us are being called into our soul mission. And I know that sounds like something very, I don't know, to some it may sound strange. You get a calling, but it can be something as simple as an urge to do something. Okay? Alright. So, much love to you guys. Thanks again for joining me. If you would like to book a private reading with me, connect with me on Messenger at Sherri Jens Tarot and Intuitive Guidance, or at Sherri Jens Yoga and Reiki. If you want to connect with me to do online yoga classes, or my chakra healing course, or meditation, I have online offerings there as well. I have a wide variety of reading styles at Sherri Jens Tarot and Intuitive Guidance, and you can check those out, and I run specials from time to time. And I also have my YouTube channel, so that's Sherri Jens, and please subscribe if you've not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel. Sher Bear Tarot and Sher Bear Sher Bear Tarot is my Facebook group, and so much love to you guys. And thank you again so much. I'm gonna read the comments again. And sometimes, my apologies if I've not seen your comments. Sometimes the comments don't all come through. And sometimes I see some comments after it's, you know, ended, and I'm like, oh, why didn't I see this? Much love to you guys. Oh, let's see. Bowie, oh, okay. Bowie is, yeah. Yeah, I am doing that, Karen. Do you want that, honey? Do you want the reading? I am. You can do that. Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, that's a private read. Karen. So, yeah, you can Venmo me and I'll put you down for that, honey. Yeah, and anybody else who wants that. Yeah, it's 20. Yeah, for the next couple days there. Awesome. Okay, thank you guys. Much love. I hope this message resonated with you guys. And okay, beautiful. You could do that. Yeah. That sounds great, Karen. Yeah, I look forward to it. I'll take these off. My silly broken Dollar-Tree glasses. But I'm so grateful for them because I'm like, no sweat. I paid $1. It's okay. It would be too much pressure otherwise. All right, guys. Much love to you. And take care. And it's so good to see all of you. I love you guys so much. Yeah, you too, Karen. I hope you're feeling better, honey. All right, much love. Namaste. Bye.